Why, good morning, everyone. This is Jennifer Sanchez, and we are on live with everyone this morning, March 1st. So happy March 1st,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yes.
Uh, I'm your founder, Jennifer Sanchez. You're watching the Wise Morning Coffee Chats show. That's part of the Women's Institute of Self Development and Efficacy, where we just love to highlight amazing women from our community and just bring you a fun show. So that is me, and I'm going to give it to Angel, our co host for the month. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Angelica Ramirez, but I usually go by Angel. Um, I am a full time commercial property manager, a mom of two, a wife, a daughter, and a new entrepreneur, I guess you can say. I recently started a business in making pies. So I love making people happy by filling their belly.
Yay! Angel's awesome. She's the pie lady. We call her the pie lady
Yay.
in our community. Um, so thank you, Angel, for being our co-host for the month. And then we have Stacy.
Hello.
Can you introduce yourself to the viewers?
Yes, my name is Stacy Brookman, and I'm a life storytelling and resilience expert. And I host the Resilience This Week on YouTube. And right now I'm doing the Life Story Summit. So I teach women, especially women who've been in tough situations like emotionally abusive relationships, how to write their tough life stories in order to recover from that sort of trauma. It's really writing your stories is amazing. And that's my goal, is to get all that out there, why it's amazing
Wow, that's
and how.
amazing. Yes, and I've actually been watching some of these speakers. You brought some
Oh my
amazing.
gosh, I'm so privileged to have.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
some awesome. I was like, whoa, whoa, wait, let me watch this one because you get to watch it on your own time, right? It's not like
Right.
this is a set schedule only for that
Exactly.
day, of course, right?
Right.
So
Yes, for that day.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
you have
so
some good
cool.
ones. You have some good ones. Dr. Carol, is that her name? Carol
Perlman.
Berman? Yeah,
Yes.
she was a good one.
Yes.
Okay.
Time management. I mean, oh my goodness, for writers and, actually anything like, I've taken time management courses and stuff before, but it's like she really has a system that works, like, oh, it's, it's,
Yeah.
it's helped me a lot. So yeah, a
Nice.
lot of brilliant, brilliant people.
We love time management in this community, so, we're like
Gotta
time
get stuff
management
done.
nerds. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Stacy. So, for everyone that's watching, if you are new to this, please introduce yourselves, talk on, right in the chat. But right now it's coffee time. So we love to just give some time to focus on what are you drinking this morning. I feel like you kind of figure out a little bit, or you get to learn a little bit about this person by the way they drink their coffee.
Oh no.
Um, okay. So, I'll let Stacy, since she's our guest, go first. Tell us what you're drinking and show us your mug or your cup.
Oh, sure. I have a litany of things in here. First of all, my mug is always 32 ounces because I need the big cup and it refills all day long. So I drink this stuff. It's called Rasa, Rasa. It's an adaptogenic drink. And it's got like 12 different herbs, and all that sort of thing. It tastes kind of nutty. So in the morning, I cut it half and half with actual coffee,
Mm.
and in the afternoon, I cut it half and half with tea. In the middle of the day, I just drink Rasa plain by itself. It's so awesome. It's always hot. And then I I always have to have chocolate. So I have a New Naturals, like, chocolate that's like Nativa, or not Nativa, whatever it is.
Nutella, Nutella.
No, not Nutella. That would be good though. The stuff that does. It's not like sugar.
The
It's awesome.
stevia.
Oh,
Stevia based, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so that's what I have. So it's chocolatey, it's hot, and it's warm, and it's kind of coffee like.
nice. See, now we learned something new. I'm curious what rasa does, though. Is that like some sort of medicinal purposes or
It's
her?
Yeah, it just helps you be alert, like especially without coffee, without caffeine, and it's good. It helps you adaptogenic. All these herbs are adaptogenic. So what they do in your body is like sometimes your blood pressure is high or sometimes it's low, and it kind of brings all of your like different systems in your body to stasis where it's supposed to be, and it helps
Interesting.
you be alert. I don't know. I like it. I love it.
Yeah.
I like the taste.
Yeah, that's cool. See, we learned something new. Yay. Thank you
So
for
mine is
sharing.
complicated, but I build it every morning.
So how long does it take you to make? I'm curious.
Well, I put it in like a tea infuser and I make a
Okay.
big, like, I'm serious, my 32 times like 4, 5, 6. And so I put it in a big old pot on the stove, put the tea infuser in there and cook it all day long. Like
Mm.
you just cook it once and then I leave it on low all day long. And I just sip it out.
Wow.
So
Cool. That's nice.
I'm
Thank you
too
for
busy to
sharing.
rebuild everything all the time. So I'm just like, keep it in there and let's go.
That's
That makes
that's
sense.
nice. Yeah, that makes
And I
Always,
sense.
drink from a
you
straw
always
because it's
have it
easier.
ready.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. Well, thank you for sharing, Stacey. So, Angel, what are you drinking?
Today I am drinking. I love the Cinnabon K cups. I love Cinnabon coffee. I mean, if this doesn't tell you everything, the Cinnabon coffee, and then I have a ice. What is it? Ice cinnamon roll syrup.
Oh my
So
goodness.
when you said that the way you drink your coffee says something about you, I'm like everything is cinnamon.
Cinnamon. Now, do you make cinnamon cakes too? Pies?
I
Pies.
do.
Cake.
I do put
Cinnamon pies.
cinnamon in my pastry cream. I do.
Mm.
She does. I caught it.
I
I tasted. I was
do.
like, "That's cinnamon."
I
And
love cinnamon.
banana. It was good.
I just don't like the smell of it, which is weird.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know, like on Christmas time when they have like the acorns at Jewel and like or in the hallway, the entry, the foyers. I cannot stand that smell. Yeah,
Really?
it's so strange, but I'll make a pot of cinnamon tea or put
Oh,
Oh,
cinnamon
that
in
sounds good.
everything, and I love it. But I just don't like. I don't know if it's that artificial cinnamon. Maybe that's what it is. But
maybe,
anyway,
maybe.
my
Wow.
that's my coffee for today.
Nice. Hello, gorgeous. That's nice. So, Stacy, just so you know, and everyone's watching, Angel, we used to have live events all the time and meet monthly and networking space, and she bring her own, what is that flavor
The
creamer?
Yeah, it was actually one
Mm.
like this for like a year. I had it, a peppermint mocha,
Yeah,
or
Mm.
otherwise I would bring like a coffee mate cinnamon vanilla because I love that one too.
Mm.
yeah, yeah. So she was the only one that brought in her own bottle of flavor, and we're all like, "What?" So we got to know her right away when she was like, "I like this in my coffee." I was like, "Okay, cool." Um, So thank you for sharing, Angel and Stacy. And then we have Yamilet. She is drinking coffee, home Dunkin' with
Mm.
French vanilla creamer right now. I'm drinking my vanilla protein shake. Nice. And of course, I love black coffee, plain black coffee. And then I'm going to show off my mug, my
Oh.
Wise Morning Coffee Chat with Jennifer Sanchez that Mary Yee gave me, which was really sweet present, so I love it. Um, so as you guys are jumping on, share what you're drinking this morning, but we're gonna start going into our topics of discussion, which is just fun stuff. So of course, our first tax season, one of those things that people avoid or hate. I dread it. I dread it. I really do.
I
I don't
do
know
too.
about you.
I
I for
think as
sure
I've
do.
gotten older, as I've gotten older, I dread it. Like, because now I've accumulated more things, more bank accounts, more expenses, more interest that I have to report, more of everything. Before it was just a W-2 and I'm good. I take it, I get it done, and now it's like you have to find all the different statements. Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
not the
it's more
funnest.
complicated for entrepreneurs, right? So yeah.
Oh,
Right.
yes. I agree. I think me and my husband would always get into some sort of quarrel or like argument because it was like, "Do you have your stuff ready yet?" And I was like, "No, I don't." And we'd run through this entire because you have to gather all the receipts and you
Mm.
know, I don't know about you, Stacy, but I don't keep up with my books. I had
No,
to
I don't either.
In a past life,
Oh,
when I was a jeweler, I used to sell with a direct sales company, and I would have to do a lot of itemized stuff. And then I would have the fight with my husband, like because I would put as many expenses as I possibly could, and he'd be like, "Well, then why are you doing this? Like this
oh
is just
yeah.
costing you too much money." I'm like, "I'm trying to find the expenses so I can bury the income." Like I
Yeah,
don't. I'm
exactly.
I'm like, you're not understanding what I'm trying to do here.
Wait a minute. This isn't
Yes.
public, is it?
I
IRS
mean,
isn't
they were
listening
all
in.
legit expenses, so
That's a
Oh,
good point. And I think one of my coaches, Laurel Landmeyer, she always says make sure that you have a business. If you have a 9 to 5, make sure you have a business to offset that income so that you don't get taxed so much when
hmm.
so that makes perfect sense. Like they recommend always have some sort of side hustle, you
That's a good
know.
idea. Yeah.
So for me personally, I actually started using this software called Benchmark. I think it's called Bench. I forget what it's called, but it's basically like the Uber of accounting. Like
Mm.
it connects to all your bank accounts. You get, your own like account bookkeeper that you get to message through this software. You get an email, and anytime you get a receipt, or maybe like, oh my God, I didn't use my business account. You know how you got to keep your business account away from your
Right.
personal. Take a picture of that receipt and send it over to them, and they'll just tally it all up and shows you graphs, and you're like, wow, I didn't know I spent that much this month.
yeah.
Um, so it's really nice to have something where I'm like, I don't have to worry about so much this year.
That's cool. I might have to check that out. That's
Yeah.
nice.
I didn't even think about it. I'll send you the link. I'll send you, and if anyone wants the link, I'll share with them. But it's like, I think you get the first month free. They'll do your entire books for 1 month just so you could see what you think about it and if
Huh.
you like it. And then from there, you can continue and work with them. And they go based off how many expenses you have per month. So if you have a lot of expenses, this is your price. If you don't, then you have a more economical price. But it's way more economical than an actual bookkeeper that could be three,
Mm,
$400 a month.
right. That's
That's
cool.
interesting. I've never
Mhm.
heard of that.
I use Mile IQ app to like well, before the pandemic it was more important to keep your mileage, right? And all
Mhm.
of that business. And all you got to do is swipe left or swipe right. This was a business, it like automatically calculates based on where your car is going. And you
Hmm.
swipe
Wow.
left for personal. If that was a business trip, you swipe right.
What's
That
it
was
called
easy.
again? That one's cool. What
Mile IQ, the whoops. Oh
Mile
man.
IQ. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Interesting.
I'll show you. It's this little uh orange one right there. It looks like an M with an orange.
Ah,
Oops.
I
There.
see it. Okay, cool. So then now we have another. See, the mileage, that one always gets me.
Yeah.
I forget,
Yeah.
Mm,
It just like it's on when your car's driving, it goes with you and it knows, your phone knows where you're going, and you know, I like it.
Mhm. I like that because there are times that I'm just like, oh, my account's like, either give me your receipts for your gas or tell me your mileage. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
so I'm here like bringing out all these receipts of well, I used to drive a lot. No one
Yeah, we
drives.
don't drive anymore hardly.
There's no business trips that we're taking
Uh-huh.
anymore. Except we did go to Michigan for a retreat. So I got to write that one off.
There you
That
go.
was a good 4-hour drive from here. Um, so we have Yamilet. She said, "This was my first year. I got a 1099, but getting it done this week. Yay, good stuff.
Yay.
I just finally got all my stuff together yesterday, but I'm not going to let that happen to me next year. Is it better than QuickBooks? So I know QuickBooks, Yamilet, it's a lot of you
yeah.
putting it in. The
Hmm.
program that I'm talking about, you don't do anything. Like literally it's connected to all your accounts. If you have a business account, it automatically, like I have PayPal and then a business account, it automatically generates numbers from that. And if I do dabble in my personal, then I have to tell them, hey, this is a business transaction that I use my personal account for, and then they adjust it. So it's a little bit easier, I would say, because I tried QuickBooks and I hated it.
I think if you're
Mhm.
the type of person that struggles with allowing, someone else to have control, like online that you're not familiar with, then I guess QuickBooks would be the way to go, but it's a lot more work for you.
Mm.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Do
my
you have
God.
an affiliate code? Because I always
I
use people's
do.
affiliate.
I do.
Yeah, I'll
I'll
have
give
to.
it to you. While you guys are talking, I'll look for it right now and pop it in the in the chat for people to check it out.
I
But
always support other women by using their, affiliate codes and stuff. So I love that. So yeah, share that. Well,
I
I'm very
will.
interested in that.
I,
My husband, we have a little philosophical, like when I was an employee, and my whole thing is I don't want to owe anything to the government.
Mhm.
Like I don't want to. No, I
yes.
don't. Wait, I'll owe. I don't want to pay anything at the end of the year at tax year. Like I'm afraid, like oh my gosh, where am I going to get $1,000 or $3,000 from? So I would take more taxes out during the year. And he's like, no, don't give the government that much stuff. And so we have we have that. So I've narrowed, we've kind of compromised. So I've narrowed down how much I allowed to be taken out. And then, so we
That
never
makes
know.
sense.
We might owe a little bit, but we might get some money back.
Yeah,
And
well, you
it's
have more
okay.
control of your money that way. You can invest it. You can, try
That's
to
what he
make more
says.
money on
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's better for you to have control over your money than the government to have control
I
over
have
it.
that fear though. I'm like, I don't want to owe.
Yeah.
Yeah, the owing is kind of scary for sure.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, obviously I'm not a finance person, I'm not a tax professional, but I do know that they're easy to work with. And I know it sounds intimidating because, like, oh my God, it's the IRS. But pick up the phone, give them a call, schedule payment plans with them. It's doable. Or get an accountant that knows how to navigate the system, right? Someone that's
Mhm.
done this before. If you're that intimidated, get someone to do it.
Yeah.
I like what you said, Angel. Like if you're nervous of showing your private information or sharing this information, like I got to the point where it's like, I'm not doing my taxes. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I need someone else to handle this because this is just, I take a couple of days to get all of it together. Or no, I exaggerate, a couple of weeks. So for me, I just don't have that. I don't want to do it. It's like, I cringe when I think about it, right?
Mm.
Yamilet said, I'm just confused of having to submit taxes quarterly. Yeah, definitely have no clue on that area. So I hope there's an accountant that's watching so they
Yeah.
could.
I've
I
actually
think
Um,
it's
never
because
done that.
she's getting a 1099. So she's basically saying like she's an independent contractor. So they want to make sure that you stay on top of it and pay your taxes quarterly so that at the end of the year you're not hit with this huge tax bill, because when you get 1099, they're not pulling taxes.
really,
So
I've gotten 1099s and I've never had to do anything quarterly. They
maybe if
just give me
it's
my
more
1099.
routine, if you get it consistently,
Maybe,
or yeah,
maybe.
if it's a consistent 1099, then you're not being taxed for your
Mm,
income,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
because the company that submits it to you, they're filing it quarterly also.
Ooh, that's what it is then. Okay, that makes sense.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I hope an accountant is watching, and then you can talk to somebody in
Mhm.
that area. Talk to them. So we have Priscilla. She said, "Good morning, ladies. Hi, Angel. Yay, hi, Priscilla." Then we have, I never know how many taxes I need to take out for tax season. I want to create like a savings account for tax purposes. Yeah, that's a good question. See, we're just talking about like what are we going to do with our money, right? Are we going to invest it, right? Like, um, and I guess that's a good question. Like, I'll make sure that I'm gonna tag an accountant to talk to you, Yamalet, or from the community. I think we have a couple accountants there that you can talk to. Um, but yeah, for me, I think usually my expenses, like my expenses, usually offset anything that I owe, right? Like, I think I have so
Mm.
many expenses, and I was told like I can't do that this year. Like you got to show more of a profit if you're trying to buy more property, if you're trying to do more things. You can't file all these expenses and be like, oh, I took a loss if you're trying to do all this other stuff and
Yeah.
investing, right? You got to look like you're getting a profit. So that's something that I'm thinking about this year because we want to do some renovations in our house with our
Mhm.
taxes. We want to fix the driveway. We want to do all this other stuff. So we'll see. I don't know what you guys are planning to do with your if you get anything back, but that's what we're thinking about doing.
I'm still trying to go gazelle on my debt snowball.
Yay, good for you.
Yeah, and for those that don't know what the debt snowball is, we recently read Dave Ramsey's, what is it, Total Money Makeover in the Wise membership, and it's just attacking all your debt. So I have not as much as I started with, so that's what I want to do. I want to just keep on chunking down that debt. I don't want to be a slave to my debt.
Yeah, that's good.
Awesome.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Angel. Yeah, that's a good one. And I'm wondering what people here are going to do with their tax return, because a lot of
Mhm.
experts say, invest it back in, pay off some debt. Don't go out and start buying new cars, or
Mhm.
you buy things that you really don't need with it,
And
right?
everything's so expensive right now. Like I feel like everything is so expensive. I'm looking for regular things online, and like the cars, everything, like my boss was recently selling his car maybe 6 months into the pandemic, and he decided not to sell it. It was a company car, and they told him, he was like, I'm just going to hold off. And they actually reached out to him like 3 months later and said, "Are you still selling this car? I'll give you 2,000 more for it, because there is a limit
Wow.
on used cars are limited right now. There's not that many, so they're like looking for them, and they're really expensive."
Really?
Yeah, when he told me, because I was thinking of buying his car, and then he's like, "Well, they just offered me 2,000 more." I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. So it's just, you gotta try not to spend too much right now because everything is just so expensive.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, definitely invest it in your home, invest it in some type of stock if you do that, or take care of some debt, do something, or buy a house, use it as a down payment on a house. I hear that.
Absolutely,
That's what we're gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah,
this is the time.
I hear the interest rates are like at 2%.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't think I've
Really
ever.
good right now.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to invest in a property. I just know that it's a buyer's market right now, not a seller's market. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a seller's market,
Seller's market.
not a
Yeah, that's
buyer's
the
market.
scary thing.
Yeah, because I hear like you see a house for sale and then it's like, oh, it's gone. Like I hear people like they put in an offer and all of a sudden it's like they lose that opportunity. Not like in 2018, 20 no, not 2018, 2008, 2009. I remember when we were trying to buy a house in that time, it was like there was an abundance of houses because so many people went foreclosed, right? I don't know if
Mm,
you guys remember that time frame. Everyone was foreclosing, people were losing their house. So I
right.
remember like when we were looking for homes, it was like, wow, there's like an abundance of homes, but a lot of them were messed up because they were foreclosed for so
Hmm.
long. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Now you're looking on Zillow and it's like, usually you'll see, oh, it price reduced 10,000 or price reduced 5,000, whatever. Now they're going price increase 10,000, price increase. I'm like, what? What? There's, they're supposed to go down as the house gets, is on the market longer, but now I'm seeing them go up. It's weird.
Wow.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Wow. And I guess and I was talking to a realtor, I guess the value of homes have actually gone up in Illinois. Like we weren't appreciating, is that what you say? When it goes up in value, it wasn't happening in Illinois compared to other states. So
Hmm.
for now, you're getting more for your money now, more for your property, so which is pretty
Right.
cool.
It's scary at the same time, because if they appreciate your property, then what
You pay
follows
more
that?
taxes.
Taxes.
Yeah.
Illinois is already super
Oh,
crazy taxes.
Yeah, don't tell me about taxes. I pay like
Yeah.
6 grand in taxes, so and
Yeah.
that's my town.
I'm like mine are 8.
Yeah, no.
It's terrible.
All right.
But let's talk about something pleasant.
Yeah, yeah, you're making me depressed. Let me go to the
oh,
next topic. Let- so, so let's
oh,
talk about, do you wear makeup daily for those that are watching? So, let me share why this popped up. I don't like, I like to wear makeup. I like to get dressed up. Don't get me wrong. I like to do it. It feels good, but sometimes I just don't feel like it. Or I'm tired. Or I'm just not like I don't, as a mom, I have three, and they're all little. Well, two of them are little.
mm,
One's teenager now. Uh, I just don't have I don't think about it, right? So yesterday, I think I got on a Snapchat call with my husband and he kind of got scared. Like I saw his face expression and he kind of like jumped and
Wow.
I was studying all day. I kind of just woke up, fed the girls. I didn't care what I looked like. And I was just like, let me get into the books and start reading and working on my
Right.
papers because I'm in graduate school now. Um, and when I talked to him and I saw his face expression, I said, "Oh, dang, do I look that bad?"
Oh,
So I
yeah.
just went, I felt so bad. I felt bad, not because he wasn't intentionally trying to do it. He just made an expression. So
Right.
when I saw that, I said, "Ooh, let me go to the bathroom and just kind of take care of this before he gets home." And
Oh,
I wear glasses. I'm like a -6 in glasses, -6.25. So that's really thick lenses.
mhm.
So I look like Steve Urkel with my glasses on. Like it's just big bottle caps. My hair was all messed up. Um, so I know that just was a surprise. So that's why this topic came up because I was like, do women put on their makeup every day? Do they try to, is it easy? And do you do it for yourself or for your husband? Or I know there's women that are really like, I need to put on makeup every day, no matter what, you know?
Mm.
So I'm just curious. That's why I wanted to talk about this today.
Love this question. I actually did sort of like the same thing. So I'm in this doing this summit. So last Saturday, I'm like, okay, I gotta do, I don't like doing lives. I mean, this is great. I love this, but like on my own, trying to go do a live and all of that. Oh, and so, but on Saturdays, if I'm not doing anything, I don't put on makeup. I just put on a ball cap and do and so I'm like working on my business. I'm trying to gather everything, get it going and all of that. And I thought, oh shoot, I have to do a live. Oh, all right, let me go outside. And I did it. And then I realized I didn't put on any makeup or nothing. And so I was like, okay, the very first one for this summit that's really important. I want everybody to make sure. And I had no makeup on. So I'm a person I usually put on makeup during, and I work at 6 a.m. So it's like nothing for me to just put stuff on and go. Like it takes me 5 minutes. But, sometimes on Saturdays, Sundays, I don't. Most times on Saturdays and Sundays, I just don't. But I
Yeah.
do it for me. I do it for me because I like, you know,
Yeah.
I want to be, I don't know. That's just what I do.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You actually have to leave your house to go to work, right? You don't work from home?
No, I work from home.
You work
But
from
I'm
home.
on calls all the time. I'm on, videos and calls and
That makes sense. So you still have to dress up,
I do. Yeah.
yeah, that
I
makes
think I
sense.
would anyway. I don't know. I think I would anyway, except for like Saturdays and Sundays I don't, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I just like
Yeah.
that. It's kind of like the clothes I wear because I almost didn't get hired for this job because the HR person said I looked too corporate. But I mean, like I dress up from, top up, decent looking, nice every single day, no matter what.
Yeah.
And so she's like, well, this girl looks a little too corporate. I found out after I got the job.
Too corporate. I didn't even know
Yeah,
you could not
I
hire someone
know.
because they look too corporate.
Yeah. So this is about as casual as I go. I do like, I just dress up. And so that part of that is the makeup too.
Nice. That's good. Thank you for sharing. Because I'm just curious, like, do people do it? And I know people do it. I'm just wondering, like, what is your stance? What's your stance, Angel, on this makeup thing?
Makeup, I don't wear a lot of makeup. Really ever.
Really?
I guess I come from like all my family. My mom doesn't really wear makeup. Like she's always said, she doesn't want to wear makeup because then the day that she does wear makeup, like it's not gonna look extra special. So she only wears makeup for like events, like a wedding or party or something like that, so that she can look extra special. And I was like, I'm like, that makes sense to me. So I basically do the same thing, to be honest. I don't really wear makeup. I mean, sometimes if I have a little extra time, I'll put a little mascara on because, it just makes your eyes look a little bit more awake. and a little lipstick. Like I put something on for you guys today,
Yay!
but it's not a party makeup. But I tried to make myself look a little bit nicer for you ladies.
Mm,
Nice.
good.
Oh,
But I don't wear makeup really much at all.
yeah. You have a natural look, so that
You
works
do.
for
I was gonna
you.
say that. You
Yeah.
absolutely do look natural.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, you look natural because even like I guess for me, when you put on makeup so much and I don't put on heavy makeup, like I think I'm a 5 minute, like I try to like in and out. I
Mm,
don't have time to
Mhm.
sit here and like TikTok. Okay, my teenager now is like into beauty tutorials and it's like I'm too old for this. Like I know there's women that love this.
Mhm.
I don't got the time to sit there and I do it to support like Yamilet. I want to share Yamilet's comment right now. I sell makeup, so I should, but I don't wear it every day, especially during the week. So Yamilet does tutorials, like beauty tutorials to how to like apply and stuff. I'll watch that. And then it's funny because then I watch the trends. I'm like, are women doing that now? Like, I don't remember that trend. I didn't do that trend when I was in high school when I was
The
playing.
highlights and
mm,
the
Yeah.
nose.
Yeah, like now you can contour your face and you
yeah.
gotta do something to your eyebrows and put this like concealer. You want to highlight the eyebrows now.
It's so much. Like it's intimidating. Like when I
It's
have
to
to do my
sell.
makeup, yeah, when I do my makeup, I usually, well, when my daughter was home, because she's not home now, but when she was home, I'd be like, "Mommy," I'm like, "Can you do my makeup?" And I would be her. I'd be like, "I'm her canvas," because she loves all the makeup. Like she loves Ulta and Sephora, and like she has all the palettes, all the colors, all the shades. Like she loves all of that. So I'm just like, I am in your hands. So just take care of me because I don't even.
That's cool.
It's so intimidating now. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting now when you see how the beauty the beauty standard has changed, right? Over the years, and then you see all these videos and people that get into makeup and then like for example, there's that James Charles guy. I don't know if you guys ever know about him, right? I think he was like the first male cover girl. He was on
Hmm.
cover girl, as the first male. He does makeup and like, but he does these very extravagant like looks. And I tell my dad, I'm like, you realize you can't look like that in the grocery store. Like you will
Very
scare
very
the hell
dramatic.
out of people. Like that's not a realistic look.
Uh,
But these young people are loving it. They're loving these looks. Like black lipstick, black eyeliner, like black eyeshadow. I was like, no. Yeah, I don't got time for this. So that's just me though. I don't know about everyone that's watching. What do they think about makeup? Are you like my stepmom can't leave the house without putting on makeup. Like I could leave the house and look like a bum. I don't care. Except
Pick up your hair and you're ready to go.
that's bit me in the butt as a business professional though.
really?
Because yes, like I'll be like, oh, I just gotta go to a grocery store, put my hair in a bun, wear joggers, sweats. I don't care, go to the grocery
Yeah.
store. I live in a little like town outside of Chicago, so I don't think I'm gonna run into anybody that's another business professional in my community or network. And then I run into somebody that knows me. And I'm like, "Oh, heck no." And I see her and I'm like, "Dang it, I don't look right now, right?" So, I don't look like my profile picture right now. Has that ever
Uh,
happened to you guys ever?
that's where you like avoid. You go down a different. Like if you spot them and you go down a different aisle, so you don't.
I'm the
Yeah.
worst. I don't pay attention
Oh,
to my surroundings, and my husband always tells me, "You need to pay attention to your surroundings." So, they'll catch me before I catch them because 'cause I'm
yeah.
just like, "La, la, 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 la,"
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's something that I learned like in when I was doing the jewelry thing. Like our trainings were always saying like you never know who you're going to run into. You never know who your next customer is. Like how are you going to train someone on how to look good when you don't look good? It's like you always have to look
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So that was something that, I did that maybe 10 years ago, but it's still very embedded in me, like, it's like I'm kind of like you, Stacy. Like I don't have a lot of casual clothes. like my husband was telling me recently, he's like, don't you wear comfortable pants? Because I'm like, the most comfortable pants that I own are like jeans. And he's like, that's not comfortable. I'm
Right.
like, it's comfortable for me. But I mean, yeah, I like to be dressed up. I just don't do makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. We have some comments here. So we have Yamala. I was intimidated when I started. I'm still not great like all the makeup girl, these makeup girls. I think you're pretty good, Yamalet. So, because I saw some things you did and I was like, I don't do that. How did she do that? And I showed my daughter, like, do you do this? And she's like, yeah, mom, people do that now. I was like, oh. And then we have Ruby. She said, yes, always when I look the worst. So it's happened to Ruby. You run into another professional. Yeah, now that you say that, Angel, my wardrobe, since I became an entrepreneur in 2016, because I used to work and I used to dress up every day and wear the heels and blah, 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 I haven't worn heels. I don't,
Oh,
you know,
decades for me. Yeah.
it's been a while. So now I think about my wardrobes, like I've gotten rid of a lot of like corporate look clothes. I still have some dresses, but I have a lot of leggings and joggers and sweats and workout clothes. I think maybe 60-70% of my clothes is workout clothes because
Mhm.
I swapped out so much, and then you gain weight when you're at home.
Mm-hmm.
you know even before the pandemic, I got laid off in 2016. I gained weight from being laid off and just working from home and being an entrepreneur. So my whole wardrobe changed. Like I have to go shopping when I need to look professional.
Yeah.
I
So
love online shopping.
yeah, I do too. I have the most comfortable pants too, is shorts. So like, nobody sees that. So I just wear whatever, you know. But you know what? That's why the rise now in like the casual that looks nice, not the holy sweats, which I do have those, and I actually do go shopping in those too. But the like even like Chicos, which I love Chicos, they have these nice, so comfortable, so soft, but yet they're casual, but yet they look decent, right? At least from far
Yeah.
away.
Yes,
you
yes.
know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about because I've seen like the Kardashians, they started wearing the sweats with the heels. I was like, thank God, like you're making this popular.
But still the heels. I used to wear 3-inch, 4-inch heels when I was in my 20s. Like I was pretty proud of that I could do that. Now I don't think I could. I'd wobble and fall down.
The only heels I wear now are wedge heels or like a chunky heel. Like I can't do the
Yeah.
The
stiletto heel anymore.
stilettos.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty painful when you do the stilettos. I agree. I've always liked flat shoes also. And I know before we used to have arguments like, are those professional? Like me and my coworkers would be like, that's not professional. I'm like, yeah, it is professional. Because they would tell me like you're supposed to, but they're old school corporate. Like
Hmm.
I guess back in the, 80s, you were told you need to always wear a heel, right?
Yeah.
When they started in corporate America. So
Yeah.
when they see me in flats, they're like, "You're not supposed to be in flats." I'm like, "Yes, I am. Who said I'm not supposed to be in flats?"
Oh,
I'm
isn't that
tall. I'm
strange?
tall. I'm tall. I'm 5'8". Like I don't need to wear heels all the time. I'm already tall as it is.
Yeah, I agree.
So we have some more comments here. Although I will say this, having good skin makes a big difference. I agree, Ruby. If you have good skin, it does. Um, yes, it's all about skincare. So we have Yamila agreeing. Nara said 90s makeup trends on TikToks. Those are so
Oh,
funny. I've seen those before.
and the hair too.
The hair. I've seen the memes where it's like, this is how old I am, and then they show like their high school yearbook, and everyone has big puffy hair.
Hmm.
Then we have men, of course, said that,
Mhm.
and because they don't know how it feels. Yeah, I think a lot of the beauty standards are set by men. And I
Hmm.
don't think people realize this, right? Like
Yeah.
that's like even a lot of in fashion industry, a lot of the outfits are by men. So it's like, dang it, we're being told what to wear, what makeup to use. Have you guys seen that new movie? It's not that new, with Tiffany Haddish and Selma Hayek and Uh, so
Yeah.
they're all entrepreneurs and they have makeup lines. And then there's this male company making women's makeup. And the girls are trying to make a makeup like for natural beauty to just feel good and be confident for the everyday woman. But the
Mhm.
men were like, no, you need to look sexy and you need to wear this type of makeup.
Of course.
So it was like, do you want to feel sexy? Wear this makeup. But the women were like, no, this is natural beauty, right? So
Wow.
even like you could see in that movie, like the expectations of men and women are totally different when it comes to
Mm.
beauty, right? Um, just
And
wanted
how
to.
does that make us feel if we don't have that sexy look versus the natural? And they're teaching our young girls that you have to do this in this way in order to
Hmm.
be accepted and loved. And oh, I could talk on that for a long time. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it makes, I'm glad that I wasn't raised in this generation. Like,
Mm.
because the young people they are put in a position where they're constantly comparing themselves to these
Absolutely.
So true.
beauty influencers.
Hmm.
Even though we didn't have the internet, we didn't even have YouTube videos,
Yeah.
when I was a teenager. So for me, I'm thinking like my daughter's always constantly comparing herself to these women or to these other teenage girls and saying, "Let me use this product or that product." And the age of the teenagers, part of their development is comparing themselves to their peers.
Yeah.
That's part of their confidence building and their self-esteem. So
Mm.
I can only imagine how much, how difficult it is to be raised in this time in regards to beauty.
And the look for them is more and more mature at a younger and younger age now than it has ever been. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it has to do with all these TikToks and beauties and YouTubes, and my daughter's like, I need to get rid of my bags. I'm like, girl,
Hmm.
you better stop right now and go play outside and play with the damn dog. Like, we don't got time for that. You're only 13. You know,
Yeah.
Bags. A 13-year-old with bags.
Oh,
No.
they're like, you
don't
don't got no.
worry.
That's
Oh.
what I'm saying. You don't have bags, but that's what they're putting out there, and then it makes her think about herself. Like, then
Mm.
do I have that? So yeah, it's an interesting time right now when it comes to beauty for sure. So, any final thoughts on this, Angel or Stacy, before going on our next topic?
Oh,
Just do
that's
whatever makes you love yourself more. That's
exactly. And
Yeah,
all.
you are great just like you are.
Yes.
exactly,
Just
exactly.
exactly like you are.
And I like being a bum with no makeup around my house. Like, I do not. At the end of the day, I know I'm supposed to, but I'm still pretty confident without it. So I'm all right,
You're not supposed to anything.
And I think, and that's one thing I want to share. There's a lot of in the evangelical churches, it is preached to the women to put on makeup
Mm,
and to, and look good for your husband, which
right.
don't get me wrong, it's good. It's okay. You want to look good for your husband? Go for it. Go all gung ho. That's fine. If he likes it and you like it, and there's women that enjoy it. I enjoy it. But at the same time, it's also preached behind the pulpit and
Mm,
told to people that you should look like this or you should constantly take care of yourself. What if you don't feel like doing it? What if you don't feel like dressing up?
right.
So just something to put out there just for people to think about, because I mean it's all different time, and they're preaching. I love the Bible, don't get me wrong, I'm Christian, but you have to look at the time frame of when the women would dress up in those times, right? And what the society standards and the cultural standards of those times, and compare them to these cultural standards, right? Like, that's why you have people don't realize, like, they had a certain style of dressing up. There's one verse and they're talking about you're not supposed to wear jewels in your hair, or too much sparkling jewelry. I forget how the verse
Right.
actually
Right.
goes. Um, don't have like a
Or even
tinkling
cover it up.
walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was because in those times, right? Women would adorn their hair, and that was kind of like their only way of showing off any type of fashion, right?
Mm.
Because
Mm,
it was through their hair. It wasn't like you could wear a fashion piece or statement with your outfit, like nowadays, right? Um, So let's go on to the next topic. I actually could talk about this all day as well, but we
Uh,
have let me just show this. Whenever someone tells you you should do something, get curious about their motive. Exactly, Ruby. That's good. We're not supposed to use the word should at all, and I
mhm.
try to catch myself, even myself, when I say that word. Thank you for sharing. To wear heels for 8 hours? Oh God, no. Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't wear heels for 8 hours. So let's go into our next topic, public speaking.
Mm.
So this is a good topic. I think that we should discuss, especially with you, Stacy, here, because this is your this is your life. This is part of
Yeah,
what you do, right?
it
So
is.
most people are more scared of public speaking than death. Like it's
Yes. Yeah.
so people are
Oh.
more terrified of that. So go ahead, Stacy, and share what you got going on, and then we continue talking about public speaking and stuff.
Yeah, so I think everybody's voice should be heard, and public speaking is part of that. But you have to like know your story and get that story out because every one of us is unique. Every
Mhm.
single one of us is unique, and we are put here on this earth to do something. And what is that? And to share that spark of joy or wisdom or whatever that you have. And so part of that is knowing your story. And I think for like as far as public speaking goes, you it- it's what you fear is the shame of failure, the shame of looking like a fool, the shame of whatever. And so, especially as women, we have a lot of shame piled on to us. And so, once you get that, know what your story is, and and you have that deep need to share it. So, whatever business you have that you've developed, whatever, passion that you have, you like what you should put whatever you are out into the world. Because if you don't, here's what I always tell my students: what if there is someone just about ready to go through what you have been through in your life? What if there's somebody in the middle of that tough story, right? That you have been through, and you could give them a shortcut by giving a talk, by sharing your wisdom, by doing a Facebook Live, by doing whatever. What if you could help somebody and give them a shortcut? You could reach back and just pull them through easier than what you came through because of your story. You've got to do that. That's what you were here and that's what you were meant for. And
Yes.
so I mean I think it's powerful. Your everybody's story is powerful. Everyone's story is unique, and you have something to share with the world. A lot of people don't think so. Oh, I don't, I'm just living a normal life. I don't think so. You absolutely do. And so yeah, I'm like I was mentioned the summit before it's going on right now. Jennifer, you are in the summit. I interviewed you for it. Oh my goodness. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Amazing. Yeah, we have, it's called the Life Story Summit because everyone has a life story and there's like so many different ways to get it out. And we talk about, like even micro memoir. You don't even have to write a full book. It could be a poem. Like on the last day, Thursday, we have Your Life in Poems, right? Um, but also like writing through the pandemic. Here's today we have Faust Ruggiero who is talking about, you know, writing about what our experience was in 2020, right? Writing how valuable is that and getting that out into the world. And the reason why you'd want to do that, you know, the reason why we know like the Black Plague and what happened is because people wrote about it. People shared their stories. And people like our great grandkids are going to wonder, I heard you didn't have toilet paper. What did you do? Right. And so all different kinds of ways. We have, was it yesterday? I think we had an award-winning documentarian, like documenting your story and sharing that, and how that can help uh, go from trauma to hope and change other people's lives.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I really believe. I used to have a job teaching people how to have that signature talk and embedding your stories into whatever you're sharing, whether it's makeup tutorial or whether it's whatever it is. If you embed your story in there, because our brains are wired for story. And
Mm.
so public speaking is just having a chat with somebody else and sharing a piece of you. One easy way to start, we have one of our speakers is called family history story. She's a life historian, but we have another one that's the master of first times. And so you know how it's kind of awkward when you're meeting with people and you're just like trying to get to know them, they're trying to get to know you, or in a business situation or whatever. She teaches people how to tell their stories of the first time of whatever in order to connect with other people, because that's what we
Mm.
want to do as well. And so, like, I used to be like, if you're in a group over the water cooler or in a group of new friends or people, whatever. And I would be the quiet one and, just listen to everybody else. But what if you
Mm.
shared the story of your very first car, or the first time you bought your own car, or the first time you got your own apartment or place? You know, that's pretty cool. That's all right. But what if you embedded into that story that you're speaking publicly, but you
Mm.
embedded in that story some information about you. So people are taking in information about you, by how
Mhm.
you act, by what you do, and you're not in control of that. But what if you told a story of the first time you rode a bike, or the first time you got married, or the first time, whatever, and you shared some of your values, or you shared, you revealed pieces of you that they didn't know. How cool is that to connect with other people that way? So I love it.
Ah, that's good. What I really like, there was a couple of things that I thought when you were talking right now. One, I think everyone's a public speaker. Y- at the end of the day, if you're going Facebook Live,
Yeah.
if you have radio, I mean, if you're conducting meetings, like those are public speaking opportunities. Because I
Yeah.
just saw something that Yamilet wrote, like, I'm not a public speaker, but you are a public speaker. You have a
Right.
platform and you're speaking. This
Mhm.
is public speaking. And your story, I think that's how I lead
Mhm.
everything that I do. I share stories.
Yeah.
It might, it's not like there was one speaker that you had, and this is good, like for everyone that's watching. She helps people make TED Talks, right?
Yes.
What was her
Right.
name?
Catherine Kennedy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she literally said in the interview, I sit with somebody and look at their whole history, look at their family of origin, right?
Mhm.
And even like sharing, like, let's say you're up on stage and you're sharing your grandpappy's story, right, of
Right.
how he came to the United States, of whatever, like that in itself can teach someone something,
Yes.
even if it's not your own.
Mhm.
um and I have this conversation with my daughter all the time. She's like, "Mom, she's so sweet." A lot of the women know her. She's 13. She's like, "How am I supposed to do something greater than you when you're already doing all these awesome things?" I'm like,
No.
"Sweetheart, you can do way more than what I could possibly do.
Right.
Like, we're
Right.
setting you up for
Look
success."
at the foundation that you're giving her. Right.
Right? And now she's intimidated. She's 13 already thinking about this. So,
Wow.
and I showed her the example of Joel Osteen. If, it was his dad that started the congregation,
Mm.
right? He then took it and made it more, right? But
Yeah.
the story started with his father. So I just thought that's such a, for those that wonder, like, I don't have a story, I don't have nothing I could share. You could share your family's story,
Right.
the bloodline, the what they had to do. Like, there's a lot of lessons to be learned through that. I don't know what you think about that.
I interviewed also, not in this one, but a long time ago, I interviewed a genealogist. And here's what she said. She said, my family of origin was horrible. I didn't learn anything from them. They're not good people. But she said, what I did was I started being a genealogist and looking back at my heritage. And my great grandfather was a preacher. And I had his life because somebody wrote it down, different things, and I could look back for my own values to back to my heritage. And I thought that was really, really cool. And then I also wanted to share, like in the summit this week, we had Kimberly Pereira, and she talks about, because a lot of us think I haven't done anything great. I am not anybody. It's I'm nothing. she talks about recasting yourself to become the hero of your own story. And
Mm.
don't wait, like, don't you all want to feel like a hero? And you
Yeah.
can. I love, love, love that. I just think that's so fun. I mean, all of us have, our brains are wired for story. So when you're telling a story to somebody, whether it's the first time you started a business, or the first time whatever, or you're on a TED Talk stage, either one, our brains are receptive to stories, and they tell ourselves stories. And so it's one of the
Mhm.
easiest ways to connect with people, because that's another thing that as human beings, um, we have that internal need to connect with other people. And so
Mm.
storytelling is just an amazing way to do that. I love it.
Yeah, I think, and I'm sure Angel, I want to make sure I give you time to speak. And what are your thoughts? Because I know we've been working with Angel. Angel's a mentor in our community, so I know that Angel, she's like putting herself out there more now. She puts her story of her pies. She's the pie lady, so she's creating this story around the pies. Tell
Nice.
us, Angel, what are you thinking about with all of this?
I'm thinking of a lot of things right now. I struggle with public speaking a lot. Like, even, as Jen said, like, even hosting your own meeting, or conducting a meeting is part of public speaking, and I still struggle with that. Like, I've worked at my job for almost 13 years now, and even just still having my two bosses, who have always been my two bosses for the last 13 years, I still lack that confidence. I mean, I know this is kind of like public speaking, but we're right now, I feel like I'm only in a room with you, with Jen and Stacy. So I'm okay, but like, Stacy, a question. Like, you said
Yeah.
that, it's a great way to deal with trauma. Like, for me, I've also heard that trauma creates a lot of memory loss. Like,
Hmm.
I've learned to block things out of my head.
Yeah.
And so, like, how do I tell a story when I can't even remember? And I feel like I
So
need
glad
to
you asked.
remember sometimes, so that I can
Yeah.
get it out, so that
Yeah.
I can release it. But I can't even remember a lot of the things.
You know, my daughter has that because I've went through a marriage to a sociopath for 10 years, and I'm glad you. Let me do a little science lesson, if you'll permit me,
Of
really
course.
Okay.
quick.
Okay.
When trauma happens, and it can be bystander trauma, like my trauma didn't happen to my daughter, but she watched it. That's
Mhm.
bystander trauma, and there's no trauma Olympics. It could be your dog dying, or moving to a new community as a child, whatever it is, or it could be abuse, like I went through, like lots of different things. Whenever your brain goes through trauma, what your brain wants to protect you, and so it takes those different memories and puts them in the back of your brain, where they
Mhm.
are hiding from you, right?
Mhm.
But they're still there, and they
Mhm.
come back when it's triggered by a
Mhm.
smell, a sound, somebody saying something that you heard at the time, whatever it is. Thousands of triggers, but they come back. So they're really not gone; they're there.
Mhm.
So what I'm all about is writing, because writing is scientifically proven to get those out of your head and put them in the regular part of your memory, where they can fade, just like
Mhm.
normal memories, which is a good thing. So what you're doing is, and I teach a very specific method with a 3 lists, where you're going to start list of milestones, list of desires, list of all that sort of thing. And as you're free writing, you're going, more of those details are going to come back, and as your story comes out on paper or computer document, you gain control over those stories, rather than your your brain controlling them over you, right? Those stories don't have power over you. They lose their power over you, because you are in control of those stories by then. And so that's really cool. And then you can say, okay, 8-year old Stacy, or 16-year old Stacy, or whatever, it's okay now. And you can look back at that story with different eyes. And it might take a little bit longer to remember some of those things, but as your brain again is trying to protect you. It says,
Mhm.
nope, I don't, that's dangerous. I don't want you to go there. And you can say, it's okay, because I'm okay right now. I'm doing good. And you can write around the edges. If you write around the edges, like if it happened in, let's say, 1984, that's when I graduated from high school, 1984. Who else was in my graduating class? Let me write a story about my
Mhm.
math teacher who almost failed me, or, right
Mhm.
around the edges of that. And then your memory's going to start coming back on those things. And when you write them out, you like, that's just in a nutshell the whole science behind
Mhm.
it. Dr. Pennebaker from the University of Austin is one of the most famous researchers for that. But yeah, writing about that stuff is incredibly healing. That's one of the best reasons to write your story, get that out.
Nice.
But yeah,
I
yeah,
love that. I love that, Stacey. I think that's great advice for a lot of the women that are watching. We're
mhm,
actually going to bring you into the membership. I know I wanted you to come and speak into the membership community as a
yeah,
speaker and actually teach some of this stuff to
yeah.
the community. So,
I'm
but
passionate about it. Can you tell?
oh, totally, totally. I think you're right, right? I think this is great. I love the fact that, it brings healing because we're all about our community is all about that, the self-love
Yeah,
aspect, right? Because I think that really limits us to
yeah.
continue on our path when we still have something that's holding us back or
Hmm.
like it's not great to walk around with these triggers. Like, just let's just be honest. Like,
Right.
you're gonna do something, all of a sudden something sparks, and then you like flip out. Like, yeah, it's scary, right? But it happens to all of us. I think we all
Yeah.
have these triggers that we
Mhm.
don't realize it until we sit down and really like, let me write this out. One of the things that I in my coaching program, they start implementing. So I have to share, call like what's it called, like a phone number or something in case someone goes into that downward spiral. So do you have
Hmm.
any recommendations? Because let's say somebody starts, okay, after watching this, they're like, I'm going to write my life story. It triggers them and then it takes them into a deep depression, but no one's there to support them and they're by themselves.
Mhm.
We want to make sure that they don't, God forbid someone does something to themselves because of
Absolutely.
going
Yeah.
back. What do you suggest?
Yeah, so definitely don't write alone, write in a community, write with
Mm.
somebody else, have somebody guide you through that. Because if you do have some of those things, like I said, right around the edges. Like for me, when I was writing, I'm like, oh wow, this is interesting. And my I had a counselor, and he actually put words to, like, I actually didn't have a voice. I couldn't hardly speak about um what happened. In fact, my counselor was like, I have to pull things out of you because I was
Mhm.
so like, don't go there, don't say that, don't do anything. Um and he actually recommended writing a writing class, and that's how I got started. I was in the middle of this divorce
Mm.
with a sociopath, and you know what? I discovered, like, how in the world did I was a professional woman. I thought that's what I was. And I discovered how in the world me, a professional woman, even got into an abusive relationship. How could that be possible? And I could see then clearly. And so write in community, write with somebody else, have a writing buddy even, but somebody who's safe. That's one of the speakers we have is talks about that. I think she's today. Ethel Lee Millers talks about boundaries, deciding who gets to hear your story. Like, your story is a privilege for other people to hear, and it's your story, and you get to pick and choose who gets to hear that. So I love
Mm.
that. But yes, definitely write in connection. If you're starting to feel that, reach out. Google the hotline. They can help you through. I love the hotline. And, it's just reach out to somebody else if you're feeling like spiraling downwards. That doesn't usually happen. It's usually curiosity. It's like, oh, what's going on? It's not like normally, you feel like you had a great childhood and then all of a sudden you realize that you were abused. Those are the kinds that go on TV and, Hallmark movies or whatever. But yeah, you will find out you'll find out your superpowers, right? You
Mm.
might think, "Oh, I had a boring childhood, or I had a terrible childhood," but out of that comes superpowers, and that's another beautiful thing when you
Yeah.
write. I do wanna say, though, before we get any further, I wanted to give a really good coupon for all of the WISE members, for all the community. So if you want to go to lifestorysummit.com. We are in day 4, but you can also get all of the presentations. There's 30 plus more bonuses. These are amazing. So if you go to lifestorysummit.com, if you put in the coupon code WISE, WISE, it's just
Mm.
for you. I'm like, I just made it as we were coming on. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to give them something because this is just so cool. You will get $50 off. And
There
so,
you go.
yeah.
Thank you so much. So for everyone that wants to go back, because there were some really
Oh,
good
gosh, they were so
presentations,
cool. Yeah.
um, I really like the time management one and then the TED Talk one. Those were the ones that I caught that were like, oh, these are some good nuggets. A
Yeah.
lot of good nuggets of knowledge there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go and check it out. Right, wise. That's so we
Wise.
appreciate these
Yeah, just for
coupons.
you guys. I just made it. Oh, I will tell you, coming up, I think it's on Thursday. Faith James she's a personal branding expert, personal branding strategy expert. So, you entrepreneurs, she's talking about your life story is rocket fuel for your personal brand. So, if you want to reach out and, share your story inside of your business, how, she talks about that, how your story can be your personal brand and how you show up in the world on Facebook Lives and things like that, can really help your business. So lots of
Yay!
different, lots and lots of stuff. My Oh, I don't know if I have any favorites, but one of the ones I just brought on last week was Kristen Pedamonte, and she talks about um, how to apply kintsugi to your life, mending the broken. And kintsugi is the Japanese art of, you drop a ceramic or like a bowl, a valuable bowl, it's broken, right?
Yeah.
Putting it back together with precious metals like gold, and not just trying to hide the cracks, but highlighting the
Mm.
cracks. And we
Mm,
we can do that with our stories. Highlight those cracks, and when you do that to a bowl, that makes becomes stronger than ever, stronger than when it
wow.
was originally. And the philosophy is basically, when the bowl is dropped, that's when the bowl's life begins. And so, um,
That's
oh, so much,
beautiful.
so many golden things in here. I just can't
That's
say enough.
that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And I want to
Yeah.
share Yamalet's comment. She said, I think my problem is more of the imposter syndrome. Things go through my mind like there's more people that speak better than me and are smarter than me. I think through our life, I have just felt that others are picked over me because there is always someone better for that part. Oh my goodness.
Mm,
I have, you know, my sayings, there's always going to be someone that's better than you and knows more than you, but you're the one that's putting yourself out there as the
and
expert.
only you can tell your story. Only
Yeah,
you, right? Only you. And you have a unique piece, a unique wisdom that you can share with other people.
I
And so
agree.
just have to
I
share,
agree.
know how to share it uniquely. And
Yeah.
don't be ashamed of it. I will tell you what, I've been an introvert all my life. I have been ashamed to share my story, to speak out and things like that. When you dig into your story, you're going to get confidence like you've never had before. So cool.
Mm.
Nice.
So good.
Nice, nice.
Very
I
true.
love that. I love that. I think even people that post on social media, you're sharing stories on social media all the
Hmm.
time. You're a
Yeah.
storyteller and you
Right.
don't even realize that you're storytelling, right? Like you sharing things of your kids,
Yeah.
you're sharing things of your business, you're sharing things of your personal life. That is you. You're
Yeah.
telling a story,
Mm.
right? I like to tell people, like, when you look at your social media and you scroll through it, what is it telling people? What's the story when you're
Mhm.
even going through your social media? Because you're telling people something about you. Maybe you're
Right.
funny. Maybe you're serious. Maybe you're a big activist in the community, right?
Yeah.
I think those are important things to consider too, because you have your own way of growing, your upbringing, you've had these experiences that no one else has, and no one can, you, like you said, you're the only one that can share your story.
Mm.
um I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is great. Well, this is, and if there's any questions and you guys are watching, go free, flood the chat, ask away, especially when it comes to public speaking, because yeah, it is intimidating. I won't forget the first time that I started trying to do Facebook Live, I was scared out of my mind. I
Mhm.
just, like, being in front of a camera and on a stage, two different world. It is a little
Right.
different, right? Because you're like, oh, this is recording, will be out there for the rest of your life. You know. So I remember that's what I was telling myself, but I forced myself through school, media school, to kind of like get myself out there in front of the camera because I was
Mhm.
already okay with public speaking and getting in front of people. That wasn't an issue for me anymore. It
Right.
was the camera aspect
Mm,
to it that was something I had to get over. So I think sharing stories is the easiest way to go. Like, it's
Yeah.
natural, it's your personal story, right? It comes from the heart.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I think it's easier for me to tell you what happened, in 1999 to me, when when it was Y2K or whatever, and you think the world's going to end,
Oh, I remember that.
and crack some jokes around it, but you're still telling a story. So, good stuff.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. So, any final words, Angel, that you want to share?
Final words. Just I don't know. I public speaking has been really always difficult for me, but once you start learning to love yourself and have confidence in yourself, it's a lot easier to then speak. Like, but also final words is buy my pie. No, just like.
That's
Yeah.
her.
I'm very happy to be here, and it was very enlightening, to hear your public speaking summit, Stacy, and just I'm really happy to be here. I'm just a little nervous still.
It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna have you all month long, Angel. By the last day, you're gonna be like singing in front of the camera.
Yes. Awesome.
But thank you. Yeah, and check out her pies. Her pies are the bomb. They really are. They're really delicious. I can't have any right now, but they're really good.
Do you have a keto
Thank
version?
you. I don't. I know that Jen asked me to for a
I
vegan.
asked
I'd really have to check on that.
I asked her for a vegan one. I said, "Can you make a vegan one or something? Because I will still eat that, just because the carbs and all that stuff."
Mhm.
And she's like, "Let me think about that." I was like, "Okay." So you're the second person, maybe third. I don't know how many people have asked her already for this.
Uh,
You're my second person.
There we go. Two people. Okay, two people have asked me. So good stuff. Stacy, do you have any final words to wrap up the show?
Yeah, I would just say on public speaking, I got started because I was like, oh, my voice actually froze up every time I was in front of people. I started in Toastmasters. I am still in Toastmasters. People go there. The first time you're in front of a group of people like that, people have cried. I got tears. My voice shook. It was so embarrassing. But when you start doing that in a safe environment, you become confident. Like I spoke at the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence last October to a national stage. Well, it was virtual, but it was a national stage. It was so cool. You can you get there in 6 months to a year. It's really cool. So I wanted to make a plug for that. And then Life Story Summit. Once you know your story, you dig into your story, and you're going to start sharing your story in little different pieces of ways. Again, that's also going to help give you confidence. So lifestorysummit.com. And I hope all of you just go in and check out the topics. It is so cool. And then Wise, WISE, will give you a $50 discount on all of the videos. So go check that out.
Nice, nice. I see some comments coming in. We have, just let me answer this. Do you believe there's anything wrong with a man wearing a little bronzer, maybe a little eyeshadow? I exfoliate daily. Hey, if you enjoy it just like anyone else, go for it, right? There's
Absolutely.
nothing wrong with wearing exfoliating, definitely,
That's healthy, right?
Good
we
for the
got
skin.
Exfoliating is healthy for
yeah,
anybody.
exfoliate. Even I like to use the, what are they called? the strips, right? So I can take
Biore
out
or
the
whatever.
yeah, I like those. Do you not find pleasure when you, I don't know, this is a weird thing, maybe it's just me. Like when you rip off that thing and then you see like everything that comes off and you're like, "Ooh," like I'll sit there and
It
stare
worked.
at it. I'll sit there and stare like, "Oh my god, look at all this." So, I don't know why that's so satisfying, you know? And I sound like my 13-year-old, "That's so satisfying." Um, you know? But yeah, whatever you guys, I guess the whole point of the makeup is wear what you want, when you want, if you
Mm.
want. There's no right or wrong here. It's up to you what you want to do. So, thank you so much for asking, Bobby. This is great conversation, and let's just wrap up the show. You see the website there for Stacy if you want to check out her Life Story Summit? She has it. It's lifestorysummit.com. There's a discount code for anyone that comes through Wise. Just put the word Wise. And then, of course, you guys can find me. You could go to the website, or you can email me, womenselfdevelopment@gmail.com. Definitely make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms, Women's Self Development. We have a website, womenselfdevelopment.org. And then, of course, we do have a free Facebook group community called the Wise Women Support Group. And you can go there and meet more women and just have fun and support one another. So this is great. Thank you so much, Stacy, for joining us today
My
early in the
joy.
morning from Arizona. and,
My joy.
thank you. And thank you, Angel, for being our co-host for the month. This is going to be fun conversations.
Thank
Five
you.
Mondays. It's 5 Mondays, right? Five
Yeah,
Mondays.
I saw that.
Yay! Good
Yay.
for
Lots of self
you.
development for me.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody. God
ladies.
bless you.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye.
one.
God bless you.
Bye.